Okay, so I think we is live. Oh God, I haven't got
Yeah,
Facebook on my phone anymore.
on Facebook.
I took it off. Are we on? Are we on?
Yep.
Good. Right, I'll go on. See who comes on to say hello and see if we've got any questions. Wait. Okay. Right, yeah. Okay, cool. So let's see who joins us. So if you join in, say hi. And if you have any questions, then please let us know. So I'm with my spiritual mama, as you know, my favorite astrologer, Nicola, and she is going to enlighten us all about the meaning of the Lion's Gate portal and what we can do really, because I can feel the energy building. Can you, Nicola?
Oh, definitely. I mean, to be honest, the Lionsgate portal is supposed to have opened around the 26th of July. So we're kind of in it now.
Yeah.
It perfects on Sunday, the 8th of the 8th.
Yeah.
And 8, as you know, is a very spiritual number. It's that lemniscati, it's the eternity symbol, very big number in magic. So yeah, so what do you want to know about the Lion's Gate? It happens every year.
Yeah, something to do with the ecliptic, the way the sun travels around the earth. Has it got?
It is a little bit to do with that, but it's more to do with a fixed star called Sirius.
Yeah.
And Sirius is a gigantic fixed star. It's supposed to be about 20 to 40 times bigger than our sun.
Yeah.
It's often called our spiritual sun. And once a year, it starts moving into alignment with Earth.
Right.
And so it gets at the exact degree on the 8th of the 8th or thereabouts every year. Wow. And so all this spiritual information and downloads come from Sirius down into Earth. And it's a time when we're very receptive. We have heightened psychic dreams, we have synchronous happenings, strange happenings, messages arriving in very unusual places. So it's really important to take notice of those at the moment. But it's also a time of huge manifestative potential, really. And so every year it's a powerful activation. Yeah. But this year more so. And the reason why is because obviously we're in these strange times, so everything feels more intense just by default. But also it's taking place on the same day as a Leo new moon.
Yeah.
So Sirius is actually found at around 14 degrees or nearly 14 degrees in the sign of Cancer.
Right.
And then the new moon is going to be at 16 degrees of Leo. So they're feeding energy into each other. And it's going to be very potent. And it's also linking into Uranus. And so we know that Uranus is one of the big players this year. We know that Uranus is a planet of revolution, evolution, freedom, uprisings. All the uprisings we're seeing around the world at the moment are a lot to do with Uranus going into what we call a square with Saturn. Saturn is top-down control, power, etc., etc. And so all these different planets and points on the horoscopic wheel are all lighting up at the moment. And depending on your own chart, they all mean different things to you. We all have a very personal experience of the Lion's Gate and what it's going to bring to us. I mean, I'm just knee deep at the moment in Lion's Gate readings for people, just trying to look at where it is in the chart and what it's relating to in terms of your blueprint, your natal chart, your DNA, and what it's activating. And it's so profound this year. I mean, normally I spend Lion's Gate talking to people about, oh yes, you know, I can see there's a job change on the horizon, or, you know, you need to look at your, you know, and it's all a little bit kind of like, you know, superficial. And this year it's not. It's going to upend people's lives. and careers and direction that they think they're heading in. I mean, Uranus,
Uranus.
yeah, Uranus always causes surprises. Uranus always, for good and bad. I mean, Uranus is transiting through Taurus at the moment. And so Taurus is all about our financial system.
Yeah.
It's all about stability and security. And I think that this, you know, if we're talking generally about this activation, and it's triggering, as I say, that Uranus-Saturn square again by degree, I think it's a lot to do with the fact that in the next 3 to 4 months, we're going to see a lot of financial upheaval. So invariably, people's finances, people's careers are going to be put in a bit of a spin cycle. And that's, you know, a lot of the kind of like the overarching message that's going on at the moment. And the other thing about Uranus is whatever he puts us into or puts us through, it feels tumultuous at the time. I mean, when you think about the Tower card in the tarot, it's a very Marsian card, but I think it's very Uranian as well. And so at the time, everything feels kind of like a little bit devastating and a little bit out of control. But at the other side of it, we're always in a better place.
Yeah.
So I think, you know, if we can be flexible through the next few months, and I think the ripples of this are going forward to November, we'll kind of cross this transit a lot more easily.
Do you want to screen share? Is it easy for you to screen share if I make you?
It says I can share screen anyway.
Okay.
So I'll try that. No, it says no, I can't.
Okay.
So you need to make me a host, don't you?
Yeah. Okay, see if that works now.
Right, yeah, it does.
And
yeah.
then look and see what a reading might look like, because you're offering Lionsgate readings up until Sunday, aren't you?
Yes, I am. I'm not doing them past that. I've got it on offer for only £25. And the reason why I've put it on offer is I just think it's so important that people understand the enormity of this activation in their charts. So it's, you know, this is gonna look different for everybody, but essentially this is the sign here for Cancer, you know, the two claws of the crab. So if you look for that, you can go on astro.com and get a free chart.
Yeah.
So if you look at these little lines here, these decanates are all 10 degrees. So if you look to around the middle of that sign, that's where this is taking place. And so Sirius is here. And of course, I've forgotten to put Sirius in, but Sirius is here. And you can see that the new moon is taking place at the same time, a bit later in the day. And so the new moon is feeding energy directly into that spot. But also, if you look here, I mean, just fundamentally, basically, when you see red lines in any kind of astrological chart, that's tension. That's what we call angles. And angles can be, you know, harsh, hard angles, or they can be soft angles. So the red lines are quite hard angles. And then the blue lines here as well are what we call soft angles. So those are very favorable. These cause tension, which then needs a resolution. So the new moon at 16 degrees of Leo, and what's Leo all about? Leo is all about visibility.
Right.
Leo as a sign has a lot to do with finances anyway,
Right.
for various reasons. But it's also about kind of like being creative and being out there and taking control of things. But it's linking by harsh angle to Uranus in Taurus. And also to Saturn. There's a Saturn opposition going on by wide angle as well. So, you know, it's not the easiest of energies. And a lot of people I'm speaking to at the moment, there's a lot of stuff surfacing for them, a lot of issues that are kind of coming up that they're having to face. I was talking to somebody this morning, a client this morning, and she was talking about just this all-consuming lack of motivation at the moment.
Really?
Yeah, and that seems to be a bit of a theme, this lack of motivation. And there's other reasons for that. There's so many big planets at the moment going retrograde, like Pluto and Saturn and Jupiter. And so when you get the big planets going, seeming to go backwards, it kind of, there's a bit of drag.
Yeah.
But also it's just the enormity of everything that's going on. It's like we've been squeezed through this, narrowing portal. And one of the major things about this event on Sunday is that we've got what is known as a finger of God, this green dash line here, from Neptune and Pluto, very spiritual Neptune. Pluto is a massive planet of transformation and change. And they're pointing towards this new moon. So wherever that new moon is in your chart, and whatever it's linking to in your chart, is a big clue to what new starts are actually going to be formulated, alchemized by this Lionsgate portal.
Because that Mercury in Leo as well, that's going to come.
Yeah, so you've got the messenger of the gods, Mercury, there as well, who's in even more direct alignment to Pluto and Neptune. So you're going to get very strong messages around this time about the direction that you should be going in.
Yeah. Oh fuck, because I've got this all happening over my natal Saturn in Leo in the second house, obviously squaring Uranus at 14 degrees. So my Saturn's at 14 degrees.
Yeah.
That bastard Uranus is at 14.
Yeah, but the good thing about that is then what? So you've got transit Saturn over your second house at the moment.
The transit Saturn is squaring my natal Saturn where this new moon is going to occur.
Right. Okay. Well, the thing is, Uranus in your chart, wherever Uranus is, and he's this funny little squiggle here. Wherever he is, he's trying to liberate you from something.
Yeah.
He's trying to break something up.
Yeah.
And if you're not prepared to kind of ungrip your fingers from whatever it is you should be ungripping them from, and in the second house it's about something about the way that you're earning money and making money and all the rest of it, some aspect of your business, then he kind of engineers events to do that for you.
Yeah, it's definitely all about that. So if you have a look at your chart, guys, I've put the link there. If you know your time of birth, that helps. And obviously take Nicola up on her reading because it's amazing. But for me, second house is square opposite the seventh house where Saturn is transiting, opposite the natal in the second house, and also squaring the 10th house as well.
Right. Okay. So there's a lot of career stuff going on for you. I mean, Saturn squares anyway. And what we're talking about, people, is that when you if this was your natal chart, this would be where the planets are at the time of your birth. Then the transiting planets, which you can superimpose on this chart, are where the planets actually are at the moment. So okay, so Anne-Marie's saying she's in a Saturn square. They're not easy. They come around every 7 years or so.
Saturn opposition it is.
Oh, a Saturn opposition, that comes around every 14 years.
Yeah.
And that's not easy. That's not easy.
I think it's just forcing, because everybody has a Saturn return around 30, don't they? 29, 30. Now that was freaking tough. That will pull the rug if you're not living up to what's really true for you. What's whatever, that pulls the rug, doesn't it? Seriously.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, let me just stop this share anyway. But yes, I mean, at the end of the day, where Saturn was at the time you were born, about the age of, well, it starts at various times for people. It can start as early as late 26th year, and goes on to about the age of 30. And that's when Saturn goes once around the horoscope and returns to the point where you were born. That is tough times for people.
Yeah.
And then it can be you know, what triggers it again, because Saturn takes about 29 years to go all the way around. What triggers it again is when he goes into a square, so a 90-degree angle, and then what Anne-Marie is experiencing at the moment, which is an opposition to the Saturn, because it triggers that point again. Don't want to get too jargony on that, but it's kind of, these are the big cycles that we all look for in the chart, because it really tells us a lot about people.
Yeah, what's the meaning of Saturn? How would you explain Saturn to people? Is it the hard work we need to put in? Is it the work we do? How would you explain somebody?
He's known as, do you know, that's a really tough question for me at the moment, because even though I've been working with astrology for a long time, my views on the planets are kind of always evolving and changing. You know, it's a kind of a lifetime science, if you know what I mean. Saturn is generally known as the Lord of Karma, and he's known as the Lord of Karma because he gives us tests and hurdles that we have to navigate in order to work through our karma. And you'll often find that when Saturn is triggered in your chart, or you've got a difficult aspect to a transiting Saturn, then, you know, those can be tough times. You know, your Saturn return, you know, it does happen, as I say, as you said, late 20s, but the shadow of that lasts into your early 30s. It's like your early 30s is still a mop-up job for whatever happened at the back end of your 20s. And then, of course, he comes around again around the age of 55, 56, 57 into another Saturn return. So if you haven't learned the lessons from that period, you go through a more exaggerated version when you get into your mid-50s. Great.
And then
you know, so it's, you know, Saturn is the one that everyone goes, you know, and some of the more, I think, PC astrologers will say, yes, but we have to learn our karma in order to progress through life and blah, 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 blah. The reason why I say I'm changing my mind on him is largely, I don't want to get too much into the esoteric stuff really, but it's kind of what's going on at the moment. And, you know, Saturn, you know, some people say that Saturn was so called because it's a you know, it's a bastardization of the word Satan. And so, you know, energetically, when we look at Saturn and when we understand the energy of Saturn, sometimes we talk about this, you know, we're in the spiritual community, I suppose, we have this kind of view that we evolve, and that, you know, we're going through these hierarchies and these lessons through lifetimes and things like this. You know, I'm beginning to think maybe it's not that. Maybe that's not Saturn's role. Maybe Saturn's role really is to stick a spoke in our wheel, you know? So, you know, you'll have to get back to me on that one. But generally, he's known as the Lord of Karma. Generally, he's the planet who gives us he's also known as the greater malefic. So that, you know, Mars is the lesser malefic. Right. And so malefic, you know, bad, you know, he's the one that kind of, you know, trips us up.
Yeah.
But I think he's actually possibly more powerful than we even imagine.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he's the one that sets us, he's a realist, sets us on the straight and narrow.
I think that's one way of looking at it. But I mean, when you look at the moment about what's, you know, whatever your worldview is and what's going on right now in the 3D, in the matrix, you know, part of the reason we're going through all this shit is Saturn and Saturn's movement 2.5 years ago into Capricorn, his domicile, you know, the sign he rules. And so he became really strong. And in ancient astrology, he also rules Aquarius. So now he's moved into Aquarius. And so Aquarius represents the people. So he built his strength up in Capricorn. And as soon as he moved into Aquarius, more stringent rules and regulations kicked in. And so, you know, you could say that what we're going through is karmic, but I also, you know, when you look at what the control mechanism is doing, and what's actually going on in the world, it's all a bit much, really.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like it's controlled, and it is in a way because the way things are being enforced, but actually it's very fucking out of control. And some people are very out of control. Not everybody's aligned, and they're the big power players as well. Everybody's got their own view, which is good. What wins out, who will know? No one knows, I guess. um but everybody has a right to their own sovereignty and power at this moment in time. Whether that changes and it becomes a different way of thinking and being, who knows? But it's interesting what everybody's going through. Let's see. Sharon says, and please, you've included the link between Saturn and Satan. Yeah. um Why has that been hidden? That was weird. Beck says you've got an angel with you, Nicola, because I did see like a feather fly. And Beck says, "What do we think about Saturn and the Moon?"
Oh God, that's another. How long have you got? I tell you, you've just caught me at a time when I'm kind of, a lot of my views are beginning to change and evolve around some of the planets.
Yeah.
And it depends what your belief system is on the world, the universe, our place in it. Mine is quite out there. I'm quite big into alien theory. I've got some very kind of random views. I've always kind of had a good relationship with the moon, or so I thought. But then you think about the moon and the moon's effect on us. And she's very, because all the planets work by electromagnetism, and they all have different energies. The whole universe is connected in this giant web of energy.
Yeah.
And so all the planets have different frequencies that they send information on, or not even send information, that they emit. Now, when you think about the frequency of the moon is very responsible for a lot of emotion and a lot of adverse emotion. She controls the tides. We're 70 to 80% water, so there's a lot of a direct effect on us. But these words we associate with the moon: lunatic, lunacy. She can equally make us go out of control and lose our shit, basically. Yeah. And some people believe, and I'm still trying to wrap my head around, I tell you, after the year and a half we've just had, I'm open to anything. Some people do believe that she is an alien control mechanism.
Yeah, I've heard that.
That it's controlling the human emotional state and the human population. Who knows? Who knows? I'm kind of very open to all sorts of wild theories at the moment. So Saturn and the moon are, you could say that in a lot of ways they work together. Saturn, if we're looking at kind of, because the thing that unites us all is emotion and how we react. It's all, down to the chakra systems and our survival instinct. And the moon is very much about our survival instinct and this need to be secure and fear. Well, Saturn is fear. Saturn, in giving us his lovely lessons, creates fear. And the moon is just kind of reflecting a lot of that as well. So, yeah, I don't know whether, I'm just kind of waffling. I don't kind of know whether I answered that, but I think sometimes the planets work for us and sometimes they don't. And they've all got good and bad sides to them. You know, we talk about Saturn as he helps us get structured and all this kind of peripheral stuff. But I just think that their energy at the moment, all of them, is just so much more pronounced. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've got some wild views and opinions, but that's just based on like how what I feel inside, but what's happening to the earth and how that's being kind of destroyed, but not on a level that we think it's being destroyed, in a way that potentially being destroyed to create just, I don't know, can't really put it into words, but just taking its life force away, really. And we, in a way, we could be left here, and however long it takes, on a dying earth. And I don't mean environmentally. That may be one way that it does die, but I don't know. I feel like it's electromagnetically being zapped of its life force.
Well,
Gaia is a conscious being. I just have a feeling that that's, you know, where we might once have thought Earth can, repair, it can take over, it's a conscious being. I feel like, the way I feel about it is that's being taken over and tried to be taken away. So the consciousness isn't there with anymore.
there's a lot of people and a lot of quantum physicists now who believe that we're living in a very sophisticated projection.
Yeah.
And, because everything is atomic, because everything is particulate in our world, I mean, absolutely everything made up of atoms and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
That and connected through energy lines, that it's like we're almost living in this giant simulation. And some clever dickie calculated that because most of humans, the human cell, if you look at, the human atom and took the space out of the human atom and collapsed it in on itself, if you took the whole population of the world and collapsed all that, it would fit into a sugar cube.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what is real, what isn't real, are the big questions of the moment. But what we do know is that everything is frequency, everything is waveform, everything is wave pattern. And a lot of what is going on at the moment, and I do agree with energy being sucked out of the planet, but that, for whatever reason, or rather human energy being sucked out of the planet, being kept in this fear state. At the end of the day, it's a mind game, it's a psychological game. And I think you've got to be, I'm trying to be careful about what I'm saying, because as you know, I've already had my Facebook page banned. So you've got to be careful. But it's a mind game, and it's all about keeping your frequency high, your vibration high, and not giving in to the fear traps that have been set for us left, right, and center.
Yeah.
And I think then we'll see a different tipping point being arrived at, So I don't feel totally doom and gloom. I think you're absolutely right. It's anybody's game at the moment. But I think there's so many people kind of waking up to, a sense of otherness right now, and a sense that things are maybe not as we've been sold over the years, over the millennia. That I think that if that energy can be harnessed in opposition to what's going on, I think that we'll make great strides as a human race, to be honest.
What does the astrology look like for next year? Is it positive, or is it still challenging?
Okay, I mean, a lot of, I haven't looked that much into it because my head's been in different spaces really, but a lot of what's going on at the moment, as you know, was down to the meeting of Pluto and Saturn on January the 12th, 2020.
Mm.
You know, the god of the underworld, Pluto, and mass transformation meets this force. And the ripple waves of that are still, you know, going through 21. Pluto destroys everything in terms of the fact that, you know, when now he's met with Saturn, anything Saturnic, Pluto is going to destroy, drag down into the underworld, and then bring up again, renewed, phoenix-like again. Now, Pluto has not done with the destruction side of that detonation that happened last year. And that happens, he moves out of Saturn early 24.
Right.
So when we're talking about what does next year look like, when I was kind of looking at this year, I think by November we're going to, there'll be a lot of chaos.
Mm.
But we'll start to see some bits of, some chinks of light. That said, the detonation has already been done. The button has already been pushed. So we're just now living through the kind of the rollout of that Pluto-Saturn meter. And I do think that 2023 is going to be, you know, 22 to 23, you know, a difficult years astrologically.
Bex is saying we're, you know, politely fubbed until 2030.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's not, I can't say hand on heart, I don't know. I kind of think that 2024 will be a very significant turning point. You see, the 2030 thing is their plan. You know, that's their time scale to have humanity, you know, under the thumb. Astrologically, you know, there's a bit of a race against time going on. And, you know, I just think that Pluto isn't necessarily working for them. I think Pluto is bringing down all these institutions, even though we can't see evidence of it yet. You know, there's a sense of desperation in the air with some of the actions that have been taken at the moment, even though it's been a long held plan. So I think when people act out of desperation, mistakes get made.
Yeah.
Is my view. But I think 2024 is a very, very significant time.
Okay, so just let's recap. So the Lionsgate portal then is happening on Sunday.
It's happening now.
Oh, it's happening now.
It's opening now. It perfects. The height of the power is on Sunday, especially with that new moon.
Yeah, and that new moon, would you say it was conjunct Mercury and Leo, or?
Yeah, by wide orb, it's
By wide.
definitely conjunct Mercury, and it's also channeling information in not only from Mercury, but also the new moon in Leo, and Uranus.
Okay, so that's interesting because the sun obviously represents Leo, vitality, all of that. And then we've got that energy from our spiritual sun as well, feeding in. So it's like extra solar power.
Yeah.
With Mercury, messenger of the gods.
Yeah.
That would be really interesting, that Leo kind of represents, can say it represents the heart chakra, maybe the heart and the sacral.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting to see what comes through for people.
I think it's powerful. I think those in the know that. And so you know, I think it is, you know, we're locked into something very spiritual at the moment. And the more people who wake up to that and tap into the power of it and and just become more inner directed, the more it balances out whatever's going on elsewhere. I mean, when you look back historically, it's said that on that 8/8 activation, Orion's belt links up, the 3 stars on Orion's belt link up with the Giza pyramids.
Right.
And every year when that happened, it caused the flood of the Nile. And of course, the Nile needed to flood, so it fertilized all that agricultural belt in Egypt, which was used to, interestingly, be called the Delta.
Right.
You've got to look at the words that are being used at the moment. Very significant. And so, I don't want to kind of, freak people out, but I just kind of feel that there's some big kind of weather event we're building up to.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the flooding thing is relevant. We've seen a lot of that, haven't we, in recent weeks, with these weather patterns that are being put down to global warming. Ask me somewhere off Facebook what I think about that. And so it's this seesaw thing that's going on at the moment. It's kind of like the dark energy, the light energy. If it's a powerful activation for us, it's a powerful activation for the other team as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. Okay. Let's just see what comments we've got. If anybody wants us to, I've got my astrology and chakra stones out. So if anybody wants us to have a quick look, let us know. See who's still with us. That's the same. We need to hold our own sovereignty. I suppose we really, really do. It's the only. So Sam Young. So Sam is doing my quantum holographic echo healing course, and she reminded me actually that on one of the days that we're doing it, it's the Lionsgate portal, which we thought was really, really cool. So so Sam is saying yes, please. Have you got your cards as well?
Yeah, of course.
So
joined at the hip.
I know I always go to Nicola for my readings. There's other people that I use as well, but I always reach out to Nicola because she's amazing. So if you want a reading with her, she's got a special offer on now till Sunday. It's £25, and she'll look at what's happening with this portal opening up for you. Right, so Sam Young. So we're getting lots of people say yes now. Okay, so with Sam, I've got Jupiter, Virgo, and the number 7. So that's very spiritual and healing. So Virgo is all about health and healing. Jupiter is expanding that. So it's all about luck and benevolence. And number 7, that's really is quite a spiritual healing number, isn't it, Nicola?
It is. I'm picking up a different vibration from that. But then again, you've got them in front of you. Only because Jupiter's retrograde at the moment.
Yeah, I'm not thinking about what's happening actually in astrology right now.
So just crossing that over into, because I find that more and more, when I'm pulling cards, it does link into the astrology of the now.
Yeah.
Jupiter retrograde means, Virgo is a health and healing card. It's also a very worksy card.
Have we still got Venus in there?
Yes, Venus, yes. And I just kind of feel that there's something around the work situation with those cards.
Yeah, see what your tarot says. If we think about the now astrology for this, it could be saying about relationships. It could be saying, do you have healthy boundaries or overly tight boundaries in relationships with Venus in Virgo? Or how are your relationships? It could just be a message around that. And where is Jupiter at the minute then? Retrograding?
Jupiter's just retrograded back into Aquarius, which is not great.
So I would say
On Pisces.
I would say relationships. Sam, is that a theme for you at the minute? Potentially.
You know, it's funny, I've got the two, with regard to that, two of swords, which is kind of, you know, the swords of the mind. So when you've got the two of swords, it's kind of don't know which way to go. There's something about that that's saying, you know, that I'm not quite sure which step to take. And I've got the sun there. So this is, of course, the Leo sun. So this is happening right now.
Oh, she's saying it's a big theme, right? Yeah.
But then I've got the Knight of Cups, which is relationships. So there's confusion around relationships.
And just to end on that, Sam, if we're on the right lines for the relationships now, I threw my chakra stones down, and the ones that were face down, which to me means is being highlighted, is the root chakra, your security and your foundations, and the third eye. So there's something around, maybe you're picking up intuitively on something and it's causing a shake in your foundations. That could definitely tie in with the relationships. It's like, is this, you know, is what I'm feeling real? Maybe there's a bit of confusion around that. Okay, so
Seven is Neptune's number.
right, yeah, Neptune can hide the truth sometimes, or it can really reveal the truth. Sarah Jane says she always has an annual reading with Nicola. Me too. I was tempted to say, do you want to do my 23 report now? Freaking
Me
hell.
too. We're not through the 22 yet.
And Bex says she will come for a reading with Nicola. Well, you won't regret it, Bex. Oh no, you're gonna have to keep commenting yes if you want us to do one, because I literally can see 4 comments. And I know other people said yeah, so just keep typing yeah. Bex said, what is 9? 9 is near completion, isn't it?
It is a near completion. It's a very magical number because it's 3 times 3.
Mm.
So it's a number of manifestation.
Caroline Carroll says yes, please. So as soon as we finish, just keep doing a yes. So Caroline's on the quantum holographic echo healing course for the weekend too. So let's see what's going on for Caroline. Okay. All right. So you've got Virgo and you've also got Saturn. Well, I would say that was hard work, would you?
It depends on the context of the question. Sometimes I think the two of those together, I mean, hard work is a really good kind of phrase to use for those two cards, but it could be in relation to health.
Yeah,
because Saturn in Virgo tends to bugger our health up, basically.
Yeah, it can throw a spanner in the works with the health.
I've got someone shouting. I mean, sometimes I get downloads of names, but they just don't mean anything. They're not joined up because I'm not a medium. But I've got somebody shouting Joseph at me. Don't know if that means anything to anybody. Joseph. I don't know who it's related to.
You know, I'm reading it wrong. It's not Virgo. I think it's Aries. Sometimes I get confused with these dice. It's Aries that's in. So Saturn in so that's about career.
It's Saturn. Wherever Saturn is, he holds us back. So when you team in with an energy like a fiery energy like Aries, Aries is your motivation, can do, want to move forward, want to get things done. But Saturn goes, hang on a minute.
She's got the 9. She's got the 9 next to it. So I'm wondering if there's a completion with work. Like, are you coming to the end? You're starting to get to the end of it. You're getting fed up with it. You know, like you're like, right, I'm kind of on the precipice of being done with this. There's a potential that your emotions and your confidence is potentially feeling it at the minute, and it's playing tricks with you about which way to go forward. So let us know if that resonates. What did you get, Nicola?
I got the Hanged Man. which isn't dark, it's just an energy of waiting. Temperance, the need for balance. And then the Tower as well. So I'm kind of feeling with these two cards together that there's a kind of the stop-go energy of Saturn Aries that you're picking up on is somebody who's kind of like they're trying to get something done, but it's not, you know, in whatever sphere, whether it's work or you know, but it's not quite happening for them. But unless they take control of whatever this big issue is for them, in comes the Tower, the blasted Tower, it's often called in tarot. And as I said before, earlier when I was drawing, that's a very Marsian card, Aries, but it's also Uranus. And so there's something that you need liberating from. And if you don't get ahead of the curve, it'll liberate for you.
Yes. So let us know if that resonates with you, Caroline.
Or what the issue is, and then maybe we can look a little bit deeper into it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Drill down on it.
So Lindsay says, yeah, so we've got lots of people saying they want to have a reading with you. So I will put your details up. Lindsay Knight, right. Caroline says it makes a lot of sense. Right, you go first.
Who's this for?
Lindsay Knight.
Lindsay. Lindsay. Okay, so all the big cards are coming out this evening.
Yeah, lovely.
So, and this is what I mean, we're in this like mad window of this portal, this Lion's Gate. We're also between, very unusually, two Uranian moons, full moons, blue moon. So a couple of weekends ago, we had the first full moon in Uranus, and then there's a cycle to the 22nd, which is the second full moon in Uranus. So this is a time of, you know, the energy is just, and the reason why I'm saying this is because the first card out is the Fool, which is not a literal fool. It's actually Uranus. And it's Uranus saying, take a leap, liberate yourself from something. It's followed by the Victory card, if you do. But I then have Pluto, and I'd need to see where he is in your chart, which is the Death card in the tarot, not a literal death. It's saying that if you take this leap, there's going to be a huge transformation.
Yeah.
This, as I'm holding those cards as well, there's something connected to this from May that is really salient. I don't know what it is, Linda. I mean, you know, but it's something that was seeded in May that's now kind of like, now it needs you to take action on it.
Yeah.
You know, and if you do, it'll be the right direction, the right leap for you.
I can kind of mimic that because I've got Scorpio. So that's,
which is death.
Yeah. And we've got Saturn as well, which is, you know, career, work related, where you put in the hard work and grafting. And we've got number 5 as well, which is all about change. It can be creativity, business, but definitely about change. And I would say you're feeling this in your sacral chakra. So your emotions and your crown chakra as well. So you could be feeling a little bit confused. It could be affecting you mentally, or you could just have that massive urge, that massive Uranian download that you need to take action and do something about it, whatever that is. Lindsay says, oh, I've had a similar message twice this year. I'm also an Aquarius and Pluto is in my Scorpio. That's powerful, isn't it?
Yes. I mean, that's, you know, that's somebody who's deeply, you know, what I would call a creatrix, a change agent, somebody who's got that placement. There's also something, I'm going to be a little bit personal. You never know how much to say on an open forum. There's something going on, and it's like it feels abdominal. I don't know whether it's actually gynae related or, you know, IBS or something, but there's something going on stomach wise, abdominal wise, that I'm picking up.
Okay, thank you. So then we'll go with Ariette. Okay. So I've got Libra with you, Ariette. So Libra can be around relationships. It can also be around anything that you feel needs fairness or justice. Anything that you feel is unbalanced in your life. We've got the 6 energy. Now the 6 can be around family, friends, would you say? Sometimes that can represent the kinship, the clan, family. And we've got Saturn as well. So Saturn can say that things can be a bit testy at the minute, or there's a little bit of work that needs to go into that, or it's causing you to feel maybe constricted. I think it might be whatever this situation is, it's affecting your thoughts, and maybe it's affecting your security and foundations as well.
Okay. Ariette, love that name. I can't see the screen, so I can't see the
That's what I'm not sure.
can't see the spelling.
No, it's gone.
I just pick up as soon as you started tuning in, Anne-Marie, I got this massive kind of thing in my head. And I also heard the word blue. Now, blue to me is bluesy. You know, it's someone who's a bit, so this head thing is not particularly pleasant. There's something going on with you that is not. Now, you know, picking up on what Anne-Marie said about 6 is Venus's number. It's the number of desire or the heart.
Right.
And the cards that I've picked up is the Knight of Cups, which is often about a person. It's often about a literal figure. A difficult crossing, which is the 6 of Swords. And again, sword energy is the mind energy. Yeah. And then I've got the 3 of Swords. So lots of sword energy. So, you know, this totally kind of reflects what I was feeling about as soon as you started kind of linking. It just went woof, that you're holding something in your mind that's quite upsetting and quite emotional. And that's why you've got Anne-Marie, Saturn next to Venus, because it's kind of constricting that, you know, that desire. There's something I mean, I can't say what the scale it's on. It's either from like a minor disappointment to like deep heartache. And somewhere along that continuum, there's something going on. It might not be a person. It might just be there's something that you want that you can't have at the moment, which I know is a bit general. But what I would say is that it's almost like this anxiety in your mind. So I don't know whether you're churning stuff over because 6 also that Anne-Marie pulled is a number of retrospection. So instead of like being in the now and future facing, it's about retrospection and looking backwards, maybe with regret. And I would say that you need to just like drop that energy from your mind down into your body a little bit, you know, ground yourself, get by water. You know, there's a guy called Tim Wilde with an E on YouTube, and every Monday he does a meditation. And it wasn't this Mondays, it was the Mondays before. He did this amazing chakra meditation that linked up the heart chakra with the throat. And I just feel that that would be really good for you to do at the moment. It would just, you know, to drop the energy further down into the body.
Yeah. It's all let her name is. So let us know if that resonated with you, lovely, because it could be a situation at work where you feel you've been unfairly you know, there could be anything. So it's hard.
Anybody's got a specific question?
Yeah, if anybody's got that might be easier. If anyone's got a specific question, so give us a specific question. that we can help you out with. Sarah Jane says, new job. So Arlette says, thank you. Yes, been a lot in my head at the minute, so resonates. So Sarah Jane says, new job, question mark. Okay.
Do you want me to go first, or you go?
Yeah, you can go first.
Better pull some cards in.
Or so I quite like this because I've got Saturn, I've got Leo, I've got 12. I get a good feeling about this. I don't know what the new job is. For some reason, I'm drawn to horses with you, animals. I don't know why. Might not be related at all, but I don't know. I like that, even though the Leo and the Saturn might not be, you know, the best kind of cocktail. There's just something about it that I like. I feel like it's going to bring out her personality. It's going to let her shine. Yeah, it's work. But I like that 12 number. I think it's going to bring something. I think you're going to enjoy it. What do you think?
Well, yeah, I mean, 12, if you break that down, is a 3 numerologically, which is new starts, it's movement, because like my first card was the 8 of Swords. Now 8 is Saturn's number. And so the 8 of Swords is about feeling trapped and not knowing which way to move forward. And I think this has been, it feels like that's become quite entrenched, that it's been a long problem. But it's a trapment of the mind. It's not real. You're not trapped. And then it's followed by 2 cards of new start. So I've got the 7 of Pentacles. And as you can see in this deck, he's planting seeds for something new to grow. Mm-hmm. So that's really kind of powerful. And then I've got the Queen of Wands. Again, she's a fire sign, so it could be that Leonine energy reflected. Leo Saturn in this spread again. And you know, she manifests. Look at her, like, you know, all the magical stuff she's doing with a wand and that fire she has in her hand. So this is effectively saying that you need to break through feeling trapped, feeling not able for some reason. I think you've already broken through it. I think it's kind of, that was where you were, because all the power is in your hand. If you want a new job, it's there for you.
She had an interview yesterday, so yeah, look. Okay, anyone else? We'll just probably take 1 or 2 more. So JC Piers. Okay, do you have a question, JC Piers, or Sarah Jane says, you're so right. Just waiting to hear, but feel positive.
Yeah, positive cards. Definitely.
JC says, is it possible that messages from other people are also for me? Yeah, it can be. I mean, yeah, well, give us your question and let's see if we can really help for you with it?
We are all linked.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you need to hear something, it normally comes through, whichever way it'll get to you. Sometimes you just hear things on the radio in a song, or you see it on a van passing, and you're like, okay, that was for me. She just says, do I have everything I need to take a leap of faith? Okay. Neptune, Aquarius, and 7. What do you think? Have you pulled cards?
Just you saying Neptune, Aquarius, and 7, I would say no. I'll be blunt, no, because there's pieces of information that are missing. You know, the thing is, Neptune's retrograding at the moment. So when Neptune retrogrades, when he goes forward, we get really confused in that veil. When he's retrograding, we see clearly. So there is that clear seeing, clear sight at the moment. But 7 again is kind of, it's just, it's asking you to take a leap without knowing all the information. That's what I feel. And I feel that there's a bit of planning that's lacking.
Yeah. I would say that, your strongest senses at the moment are your sacral and your solar plexus, and that's really good to have them open and working for you, because it means you can tune into how you're feeling. So use your gut in response to asking yourself the question, do I have everything I need to make a leap of faith? And just know how your gut responds to that. Um, find the right answer for you, because we don't know what that means. You could be asking us if you should bet your house on a poker game. So with having Neptune there with Aquarius, I would say this is about higher mind. This is about really tuning in and using your own 6 senses. And unless those are aligned, then I would say you don't have everything you need to take a leap of faith if you don't feel that you have all your chakras aligned. If you can't rely on your body to give you the right answer right now, then you still got a bit of work to do, and that could be on the inner self. That's what I feel.
I mean, I haven't got much to add to that, because I mean, that's kind of what I was feeling. I've got the Knight of Swords, I've got the Devil, and the Devil is Capricorn stroke Saturn again. So Saturn's very heavy with us tonight. And the Four of Pentacles. Now, the Four of Pentacles is about finances, because the Pentacles are often called money or coins in other decks. But 4 is a number of stases. It's a number of something not moving forward dynamically. So all I would say to that is, I think whatever you're thinking of, even if it's like really obscurely so, there's a financial component. And I would just, because you know that Saturn gives us tests, check the money side of whatever it is you're about to do. Even if this involves a relationship, there's nothing that scuppers relationships faster than money imbalances, or, rushing into something where the money hasn't, because it's just a, contractual kind of thing, isn't it? A relationship. There's something about money that needs to be kind of planned a bit more. But yeah, you're in a Neptune backward phase, which is good, because as Anne-Marie says, just trust your gut.
Yeah, trust your gut. And if you can't trust your gut, then don't act just yet. Bex says devil is Capricorn. I'm a Capricorn. Okay, do you want to do one last one if anyone wants to quickly shout out on their first one then, and that's it, and then we'll wrap it up. So are you still on, can people still get you on Facebook?
Yeah, I'm still there, and yeah, Etame Tarot, yeah.
Etame Tarot, okay, so we'll put that on. So JCP says spot on with the financial element, thank you. I will go inwards more then, thank you. Pleasure.
Just check the finances. That's all, because we're, you know, I'm saying to all my clients at the moment, we're coming into a really difficult financial phase, I would say, in the fourth quarter this year. Interest rates are going to go doolally-tat. So if you've got any financial agreements like credit, or you're taking on mortgages, or you've got like a car loan or something or whatever, you know, just check it out, make sure you get on fixed rate and that kind of thing.
Anyone else? Last one. Bex has just taken the Michael out of me. She's saying, Amri's a Capricorn too, and I have to whip her. Yeah. Okay, so I don't think anyone else has got a last question. So let's just do an overall Lionsgate reading for everybody then. Okay. Woohoo, that wasn't very good.
Tell it like it is.
Oh, fucking hell. I've got the Ace of Cups, the Five of Pentacles, and the Nine of Swords. Well, that's a bit crap, isn't it?
Well, you know, I mean, what do you make of that? Before I barge in.
I've got like I mean, the Ace of Cups is lovely. It's like, I feel like it's something opening up emotionally. So that to me, it kind of like looks like a portal. I don't know if you can see it, but it kind of looks like a portal opening. So it could be an emotional portal that opens. But then we've got the Five of Pentacles, which is about loss of money. And then we've got the Nine of Swords, which is about, you know, anxieties over something.
Yeah, I mean, I do think there's a big theme that I will just put under the umbrella of security at the moment. Lots of our security is being threatened at the moment, and it's all right to say it's just a mind game, but there's a practical dimension to that as well. And I think that's what's been shown there, is that everyone needs to kind of get prepared for the next few months without getting overly emotional about it.
I've got the 5 there, so I'm just tuning in a bit more. So I feel like it's get ready for this, get ready for the change that's about to ensue. The only thing you need to keep, keep your heart chakra open, basically, because this was the heart chakra that was the face up one. All the others are face down. So this is saying keep that heart chakra wide open, Ace of Cups. We've got Scorpio and we've got Neptune. So we've got a lot of things that are going to be hidden from us. The power, what's going on underneath underneath, you know, behind the curtain that we can't see. So there's going to be a lot of cauldron type energies, puppet mastery type energies. So buckle down, get prepared, know that change is coming. It's going to be tight, it's going to be tense, but just keep your heart chakra open.
I think that's so good. I mean, I've got something pretty similar. I've got the Eight of Swords, which again is that thing of feeling trapped. It's Saturn, so it's Saturn trying to trap you. The Seven of Wands, which again is a Neptunian card. So yes, it can be about like higher spiritual growth and higher spiritual development. But then I've got the Nine of Wands, and the Nine of Wands is you know, nine's nearly at the end of the journey, but it's feeling very kind of bruised and battered and a bit retrospective about where you've come from, not knowing fully that you're nearly at the end of it. So I do think we're in for tough times in the run up to Christmas. I think whatever is going on, there's an acceleration of that energy. And I think the Lion's Gate, like you say, with the ace there, is here to kind of remind us to tap into this, because the only thing that's going to guide you at the moment is your heart. And I think the fact that it's on a Leo new moon, which rules the heart, as you say, the heart chakra, is just to kind of just check in with you. When it gets really hairy and it gets tough, just put your hand there and just like, am I doing the right thing? Am I making the right moves? You know, and you won't go far wrong.
Yeah. Thank you. So, right, just remind everybody where they can find you, and I will get your link and post it in the comments. Or you?
Yeah, I don't do a lot on Facebook anymore, because like Facebook decided I'd be naughty and kind of scupping my page a bit, but I'm still on there under Etta, which isn't my real name, obviously, May, M-A-E, Tarot. You know, I can post a link to that, but find me there. I've got all the information there about the Lionsgate reading that I'm doing till Sunday.
Right.
You will need to know your date, place, and time of birth to do that, unless you want me to do that just with tarot. But I do need a time if you want the astrological side to that. And that's it.
Fab. I think you'll get lots of people, and I'll put this on a mailing list as well. Thank you, my gorgeous spiritual mama. And I will hook up with you soon.
Yeah, you go and have a rest. I love that picture behind you, by the way.
Oh,
what's that?
Just like a big painting, that picture that I got from Great Shot.
You can see all sorts in that, can't you?
Yeah, it's fab, isn't it? You just stare at it all day.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, and I'll see you soon. And thanks for everybody who watched. Take care.
Bye, peeps.
Lots of love. Bye.